You may hear people talking about bulb mode in photography. This is basically where you have a setting on the camera, so when you press the shutter button, as long as you keep it pressed, it holds the shutter open. As soon as you let go, it closes the shutter. Your camera will allow you to shoot up to 30 seconds or maybe even 60 seconds if you shoot with a Panasonic. Bulb mode allows you to take longer exposures than this, and you can basically keep your shutter open for as long as you want. The name bulb mode comes from when people used to shoot in the late 1800s with folding cameras or box cameras. They would have a little detachable pneumatic pump, which when you press this pump, it would hold the shutter open. Then when you released it, it would close the shutter. This pneumatic pump would have a bulbous end to it. And that's where the word bulb comes from. Nowadays, it's actually really annoying that your shutter exposure time stops at 30 seconds or 60 seconds. There's no reason why they couldn't have built into the software a place where you could put in your exposure time and then the camera opens the exposure for that amount of time. I wish the camera companies would do this because then it would save on how much stuff you'd have to take with you. Now, if you were to press and hold the shutter button with your finger, chances are the movement in your hand would transfer into the camera and cause blur in the image. And this is where a shutter release cable comes in handy. This is one of the reasons why shutter release cables have a hold function on the shutter button. You can click it into the hold mode and then leave the shutter open for as long as you want. If you have a basic shutter release cable, you'll need a stopwatch to time your exposure. If you have an intervalometer, as soon as you press and hold the shutter button, it'll start a timer in the digital display. This is a great little function, and that's why I recommend getting an intervalometer over just a basic shutter release cable. If you're not sure what an intervalometer is, click on the eye in the corner or the link in the description. This will take you to my video on intervalometers. To set your camera to bulb, make sure ISO is out of auto mode, switch your mode dial to manual, and then click your shutter speed all the way down until you get to your longest exposure, and then click it once more, and that's where bulb mode lives. If you're in aperture priority or shutter priority, you won't be able to access this mode, it's blanked out. As well as long exposures, bulb mode is really good for taking shots of lightning and also of fireworks. And what you can do is press and hold your shutter open. As soon as the firework has gone off, let go. And the same with lightning. You'd press and hold the shutter button on the release cable, and then as soon as the lightning bolt strikes, let go of that shutter button. So bulb mode has a few different applications and it's really worth knowing about. If you want to see more videos, subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications. Also, head over to my channel where I've got lots of different tutorials on photography and videography. I'll see you in the next one.